and welcome to Bookies Talk on the Cook Memorial Public Library podcast. I'm Erica O'Rourke, one of the Reader's Advisors at the library, and I'm joined today by my colleague Hannah Dove. We are thrilled that you're here with us to talk about all things bookish. I hate to say it, but we've hit the halfway point of summer. There's a bit more than a week left in our summer reading club, Target is already stocking school supplies, and we're already looking ahead to the big books of next season, which we'll be talking more about during our fall book buzz. That being said, summer's all about living in the moment. So Hannah, do you find yourself gravitating towards any particular types of titles this time of year?
This time of year, you'd think that I'd be gravitating towards summery beach reads, but I really get into the horror genre. Recently, I've been reading The Apology by Jimin Han, which actually comes out August 1st. This sweeping intergenerational saga tells the story of a pampered and defiant South Korean matriarch when she is thrust into the afterlife, from which she seeks a second chance to make amends and fights off a tragic curse that could devastate generations to come. And I love the way that our main protagonist interacts with the world. It's part family saga, it's part ghost story, it deals with sisterhood and grief and loss and making mistakes. What if you could go back and apologize for the things that you've done that you thought were the best options at the time, but really weren't?
That would be an excellent superpower.
Absolutely. It's fresh, it's new. I don't think I've ever read anything like it. Once it hits shelves, make sure you check it out.
I absolutely will. That sounds amazing. It's funny that you mentioned time travel, because one of my selections for this month also touches on that topic. For Doctor Who fans that are going through a bit of a dry spell, Hannah Fergan's The Infinite Miles is just the thing to tide you over. It's the story of Harper Starling, whose life has been stuck in neutral since she had a falling out with her best friend Peggy, who promptly disappeared. Harper's been working a dead-end job and rewatching Infinite Odyssey, a cult sci-fi show about the Argonaut, who travels through time and space with his ship, the Argo, having adventures, saving humanity. If this sounds familiar, you are absolutely right. The story is, in part, a love letter to Doctor Who. Then Peggy comes back, but she's been changed. She's been taken over by some sort of alien parasite. And Harper is launched into a time and space adventure of her own, because it turns out the Argonaut is real, and he and Harper need to save each other if they want to save Peggy too. This story is fast-paced and fun. It is full of the timey-wimey, jiggery-pokery hijinks that fans of the Doctor will love. But it also works on a deeper level. It's really a book about friendships, how they change and evolve and end and start again. And that gives a real poignancy to this story. And I very much appreciated that it doesn't wrap everything up in a nice, tidy bow at the end. It's a complicated ending. I think it has great crossover appeal for both teens and adults, and if you are a fan of time travel, I think you will find it an absolute delight.
That sounds incredible. Speaking of love letters to shows gone by, I recently read Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Ayamide, which is a love letter to both Pretty Little Liars and Gossip Girl. Combined, they meet with Get Out. And so
wow.
It's an incredibly new concept in this YA contemporary thriller by a debut author. Two students of differing backgrounds find themselves thrust together to stop an anonymous hacker from ruining their lives and futures in the prestigious Navius Academy. It is incredibly fast-paced. The hacker pulls no punches, and you don't know who to trust. I appreciate books that can pull from influences and make something entirely new. If you're in the mood for a thriller that pulls from all sorts of different backgrounds and emotions, this is going to be the one for you.
Well, that sounds excellent. I also really enjoy books that take a familiar trope and make it feel fresh and vibrant. And I found that this summer with Annabelle Monaghan's Same Time Next Summer. This is a second chance romance, and it hits all of the beats you would expect. 30-year-old Sam returns to her family's Long Island beach home for an extended visit with her fiancé, only to find that Wyatt, the boy who broke her heart years ago, is also home, living next door, and their connection remains undeniable. Even though this is a familiar premise, the setting is so perfectly and vividly rendered, and the characters are so nuanced. The story feels much more grounded and authentic than a lot of the breezy summer reads that I've been reading. Sam and Wyatt's story unfolds over two timelines, the past and the present, and doing so allows us to see how things started, the devastating aftermath of their breakup, and how both Sam and Wyatt have grown and changed in the years since, for good and for bad. I really appreciated how honest the book was about the fallout between these two, the effect that it had on their lives and also on their families. You want to talk about pulling no punches. This is a story that really examines how one individual's choices or behavior can impact everyone who loves them. So it is a sunny, summery beach read, but it's also got some unexpected and very welcome weight to it. I think it's a perfect fit for fans of Christina Lauren and Carly Fortune. I also think it's one you would enjoy talking to your friends about, whether that's a casual conversation or a more formal book club setting. I think there's enough here to sustain those types of conversations, and they're probably pretty welcome ones at that.
I love having those kinds of conversations with my friends about the big things and also the little things. I just finished the Book of Delights by Ross Gay, in which he records a delight, if not every day for a year, then several days throughout the year, from the things that really make a huge impact on your day to things that you just notice as you're walking by, friends, lovers, people you miss, and people you haven't even met yet. It is as uplifting as it is challenging to read about all the grief and all the turmoil that the author has been through, and still he pushes through. And I'm very excited for his next upcoming book, Inciting Joy, which is an intimate and electrifying collection of essays about the joy that comes from connection, and it is out October 25th.
I've heard such wonderful things about that book. It's been on my TBR pile for ages. Thanks again for joining us today. We'll be sure to put links to all of these titles in the show notes, and if you're on the lookout for more great reads, check out our YouTube page. Also, don't forget to register for the Fall Book Buzz, where we'll be talking about all sorts of titles that we're looking forward to for this fall. In the meantime, you can always find us on the library's website, Shelf Life the blog, or by emailing us. And you can support the podcast by sharing it with your friends and subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back soon, but until then, keep reading, keep watching, and keep listening.